So enough about me. It's Jason again. Today's the day where me and my wife Erin, say hi Erin.
Hi.
We have to give my daughter who's immunodeficient, am I saying that right? Primary immune deficient.
Yeah.
Her, what is it called?
Subcutaneous
infusion. Which means it's basically, it's donor antibodies.
Called Hizentra.
It's called Hizentra.
And it infuses into the body and keeps our immune system where it needs to be.
So basically it's a fake immune system taken from blood from other people, and it helps her stay healthy. She was in the hospital a few days ago, had to stay the night, and she does this weekly. So what we have to do is we have
Set it all up.
to set it all up, which is a process.
So this is the infusion. This is the
Syringe.
syringe, and then the medication is inside. And then these are the needles, and they go into her stomach. And this is the machine that it's a pump, and it pumps the medicine. You put it in here, and it pumps it inside of her stomach into the fat of her stomach, so that she can get the medicine.
All this, by the way, is sterile, sanitary stuff that we open, and because if you introduce crazy stuff into our system, it could be bad. So she's gonna get set up for it. It's a little bit of a process for her. She'll lay down, and we'll give her an ice pack, and we give her numbing lidocaine on the areas that we're gonna put the needles in her stomach, for her to start getting a suffusion. And then for about, what is it?
An hour.
An hour. Sometimes it takes longer depending on
Her body.
how fast it absorbs it. She'll have the infusion. The first time was really rough. It's a new feeling. It was a new feeling for her.
Because it burns.
It burns, I guess. And they're tiny little needles, so it doesn't
I'll show them.
look crazy.
Do you want to show them the needle?
Sure, go ahead.
You have to flip it around. So this is the needle, right? And you took this off. And it's a long needle, but they're little needles that go into
Her tummy.
her stomach.
So, but yeah, the first time was the hardest time for me, because it was a nurse doing it for us. And of course my daughter's freaking out, and it's burning, and as a dad, you want to go attack the person hurting your
kid. Yeah.
But
Hard.
I don't mean literally, but I think you know what I mean. You want to stop your kid's pain, but not to say that she's gotten used to it. She still hates to have it done every time. I'm not sure if it's because she has to sit still for an hour, or it still bugs her or whatever, but it's working out.
It makes her tired and sometimes lethargic afterwards.
Sure. I noticed that too, so that's one of the side effects.
But there's nothing we can do. And then she did get something called...
She used to have to go... She does this every week, which is... to me, it's more work, but it seems like it's probably more effective to have it weekly. Whereas before it was every 3 weeks. She had to go check into the hospital, and she had a portacath that was attached to her... which is basically because she was a little girl.
Baby. Veins
were really hard to find. So a portacath is basically this little, I don't know if stent's the right word, but a button that's underneath the skin that's directly connected into your carotid artery. So basically, anytime they wanted to give her an IV or medicine, they could just feel that little button, stick it in there, and hit it, and they didn't have to search for an artery. When she was born and she had to be on IVs,
has a hard time getting the medication.
when she was born and she had to get IVs, her little veins would blow everywhere. And one day I came from work to visit her, and they had shaved half of her head off to find a vein in her head, and she had an IV in her head. So they ended up opting for the portacath. The portacath worked well. And the every 3 week stuff was a lot more potent, but it was really inconvenient as far as time for my wife and her, and it put her.
We had to
she
go.
had to go to the hospital every 3 weeks
to get him flushed.
She had to get it flushed. Every time she had a fever, there was a chance that there was a port infection, and if there's a port infection, that's connected to your carotid artery, which goes to your brain and your blood, and it just pumps everywhere. So you become septic and you sick and die really quickly. So every time she got even like a common cold, we were stuck in the hospital for 3 weeks, or 3 days to a week, and that was rough in itself. So it's a better option. This is working out, so we're happy that it is.
Plus, there's less risk. Like there's risks of blood clots.
Yeah, there's risk of blood clots with the portacath, but for some people, that's if that's their option, it's better than nothing. So, anyways, this is where we are now. This is how we get set up. So we'll get Mckenzie in here in a little bit, and we'll show you what she does on her iPad while she's getting her infusion. See you later, guys.